Do you have so much stuff that you just wish that you could put it to the curb and call it a day? Maybe you'd like to just pack up your suitcase and hit the road. Or maybe you've daydreamed about just getting a whole new house and not having to deal with all of the stuff. Last year, I had a big job on my hands. There was a period of my time, a season in my life where I had no time or capacity to handle any clutter or just keeping up with my house in general. So I had to take action. I got rid of over 600 items, and I'm going to tell you all about it today. The very first method that I tried when I was decluttering was the month-long method. So on day one, you declutter one item. Maybe something big that truly makes an impact in your space. This could be like a dresser that you're no longer using. And then on day 5, you declutter 5 items. On day 7, you declutter 7 items. One big example when I was doing the 30-day method is I went down to my garage, I looked at my plant shelf, and I had so many pots that they were sort of teetering, kind of over because they were just stacked so high. I did declutter those pots and I put it in the neighbor friend chat, and I had a taker immediately, someone that just loves plants. And I walked them over to her house and she was just so happy to get them. So if you are one of those people that just don't have a whole lot of time in your schedule, it would be absolutely perfect for you. The other type of person that this method would be good for is a person that if you're going to the beach and you just want to dip your toes in and you're not ready to plunge yourself in because the water is just so cold, right? So this type of method could allow you to just ease into decluttering. Just dip your toes in. On the first day, that one item, I'm sure you can find one item in your home that you can get rid of. And then it slowly builds you up until the end of the month, and you're going through your home after you got some decluttering muscles and you just feel a little bit stronger, and you're decluttering 30 items on that last day. And believe it or not, that method will get you hundreds of items decluttered out of your house over the course of the month. It's an awesome thing to try. Hi, I'm Bren. I'm so happy you're here. I share weekly videos on simple and minimalist living, decluttering and organizing, creating a cozy home, and ways to live your best life. If you love these topics as much as I do, please subscribe to my channel. The not so easy things are the sentimental items. That is a really difficult thing for me. And actually, it's one of those things that if it has to do with my kids particularly, that's difficult because those kind of items spark memories for me. And I think, oh, weren't they so cute when they used this? And I just, have all of those thoughts that come to my head. So it's hard to part ways for me, at least, with those physical items. Last year when I did my Swedish death cleaning, I went through my kids' bins with them individually. And we were able to reminisce over all of the, the times that they had, or the pictures that they drew, or the cards that they made me, or the cute little shirts that they used to fit into. It was just a really good bonding time. But you know what shocked me? What shocked me is I kept so many of the things that I thought that they would want, and they didn't. There were so few items that they actually said, oh yeah, I want to keep this. And here I am. Do you know how many bins I had? I'm going to tell you. I had 3 good-sized Rubbermaid bins just filled with things. I broke it down into school activities and baby toddler. And then on top of that, each kid had 2 gigantic bins of toys that I kept. Now, I am a minimalist, and in this one area, obviously, I was a maximalist because it pertained to my children. So I would suggest to you, if you're in the same predicament and you've saved way too much for your kids, do what I did. Go through it with them. And I bet you will be absolutely shocked at the things that they say that they want to keep versus the things that you think that they want to keep. So now my storage room, instead of having things stacked to the ceiling practically and making it so difficult that I couldn't even access those bins without getting help from my husband to just pull it down because he's a lot taller than me. It was amazing, the difference. I can get into those bins now. If I want to pull one out and one of my kids says, hey, can you get this out for me? It's so easy. So I would tell you too that another benefit of getting rid of all of those sentimental items that they just don't want is is that you can easily access them now. You can easily get into the bins. You can pull them down yourself. It's not a struggle. One thing that I got rid of recently were a couple of swim bags. And those were our family swim bags when my kids were really small. And we would put all of the swim stuff in it, like goggles and sunscreen, towels, bathing suits, whatever we needed back then. And over the years, nobody is using them. So they were just sitting on my shelf, and I kind of used them to store our current swim things. And most of the time, those bags were overfilled and kind of everything was coming out of the top of them. They just weren't the ideal storage for our current way of life with our, swim items. So I decluttered those, and it was hard. I'm telling you, it was kind of hard because all of those memories that were attached to our times that we used those bags. I no longer walk into that room, our little storage area there, and I think, gosh, everything is overflowing out of here. And also, I wouldn't have to dig through that little bag, pull everything out, and try to find things like sunscreen. Things are much better organized now down there, that they're not being stored in these bags that we didn't even need anymore. The inherited items that I had, some of them I absolutely love, like my grandmother's little green fish. I love looking at that thing. But there were some things like her dishes that I inherited that were not my style. They weren't my taste, and I got rid of them finally. Once it's in our possession, it is our discretion what we want to do with that item. So if you have something in your home like that is an inherited item and it's really bothering you, you don't love it, you're tired of storing it, you're tired of cleaning it, and you're tired of thinking about it, let that item go. Swedish death cleaning is not something I would suggest that you do right off the bat. It was a great, effective, and efficient way to get rid of sentimental items, but it's also not the easiest. It was one that I really had a difficult time going through, and it pulls on your heartstrings. I would actually suggest that you start out with this next one first, which is the Marie Kondo method of decluttering clothes. That was actually fun, and it was freeing for me. I got rid of at least 200, maybe even 300 items of clothes, and I'm not kidding. I have a tiny little closet, but it was absolutely at capacity. It was stuffed to the gills, and my dresser was stuffed to the gills, just full of things. I had maybe over 20 some exercise tights. Who needs that many? Not me, because it was just too much, right? So that's just one example. I just had way too many of that category, obviously, but there was other categories, such as my imaginary self kind of clothes. When you were at a store and you think to yourself, oh my gosh, I can just see myself going to a concert, or I could see myself going out to dinner, or maybe the next wedding that I get invited to, I'll wear this, right? But when you get to that next wedding or that next event, you still don't reach for it, because ultimately it's your imaginary self, it's not your real self, and therefore those clothes are not something that you're even comfortable wearing. I had that happen with this jacket one time. It was absolutely stunning, and on the right person, it would look fantastic. It was kind of a suede looking jacket, and it had these long fur cuffs, and I love fur actually, but it was just a little too much out of my comfort zone. So I went ahead and parted ways with that during that period of time where I was letting things go. And I'm so happy that I did. I have never thought back about it. And after I decluttered that, I actually came across a perfect little fur jacket for myself, and I feel fantastic in it. And you know how I knew? Because I came home from buying that jacket, I took the tags off it immediately, and I wore it right away. That is a clear indicator that something is good to keep, that's something that you want in your wardrobe. But those things that are lingering in your wardrobe that don't spark joy, like Marie Kondo likes to say, those are the things that you can let go of, and you don't even have to give it a second guess. One big thing for me that I didn't even realize when I was going through my clothes that I finally recognized thanks to my daughter telling me about it, and that is color matters when it comes to clothes. I want you to go through your closet, pull out a couple of things that you're avoiding wearing. And it's very, very possible that the color is what is off-putting to you. Maybe you don't feel confident because you just don't look good in that color. Believe it or not, it is a real thing. And so that's what I did. I would put things up to my neck, go into a good lighting situation, and you wouldn't believe it, but your face literally looks different with different colored items that are on your top part of your body. With this color method, there's 4 seasons. So you have winter, spring, summer, and fall. And for me with winter, it is jewel tones. And those kind of darker colors just really bring out my face, and it's fantastic, actually. You wouldn't believe it. But if I were to go to a spring color, which is the pale colors, it's absolutely another story. One category of items when I was getting rid of my clothes that was absolutely a game changer was my sunglasses. I basically was a sunglasses aficionado. I had them in all shapes, sizes, colors, lens colors, you name it. I was looking at pictures one day and I thought, oh my gosh, these are absolutely not my style anymore. I don't love them. I'm not using them any longer because I don't feel good in them or confident in them. What I did was I kept 1 or 2 pairs per activity that I do. I have these little pink ones that were from Maui Gym. Every time you put those sunglasses on, everything around you just looks gorgeous. It's like that saying where rose-colored glasses, you put on your rose-colored glasses, that's these glasses. And that's just one category that I pared down with when I went through that massive Marie Kondo decluttering event. And that feeling that you have when you absolutely love something and you feel good about wearing it, it just makes your day and it makes you feel confident in what you wear. And that in turn brings you happiness, it brings you joy. I do make mistakes here and there, but then I go back and I think about, why did I get rid of that item in the first place? And you know what happens every single time? I realize that that item that I was regretting a little bit, there was actually a valid reason that I got rid of it. And once I remember that, I'm all good. So if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel. I would love it if you do. And also, I just wanted to let you know that I'm going to link some videos in the description below so that you can check those out and get more inspiration for your decluttering journey.